Hello, welcome to G2X biweekly training. It's been a little while. I think it's been more than biweekly since I've seen y'all. Been running around from conference to conference, meeting to meeting, doing the things. It's great to see everybody here today. Looking forward to today's session. Yes, I'm growing my hair out. And if you go back and watch these, you can see that it went from like shaved to mohawk to now growing it out. And it's all kinds of crazy. So I'm happy that you're here today. The product also is growing its hair out. That's one way of putting it. It's going to be very exciting because we have a lot of new stuff launched, and I can't wait to show it to you all. And then talk about a few of the different workflows that can enhance your BD and capture processes and really make sure that, especially this year, when things are a little bit different and less predictable than usual, to make sure you get the most from not only your G2X subscription, but your BD and capture efforts as a whole. Also wanted to let you know that you should introduce yourself in the chat, put a link to your LinkedIn, use it as a networking opportunity. And if you have any challenges with the sound or being able to do anything else, please make sure that you reach out to Marianne. She is here with us, and she is helping on the back end. So without further ado, I will go ahead and share my screen and get started. Before I do, I want to say thank you to the G2Xers that are here with me today. Julie's probably here, who's our director of customer success, and Brittany Winkler might be here as well, who is our lead on the analyst side, the analytics side. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, this is the G2X homepage. I also wanted to say that I will be looking at the chat. I have it pulled up in the corner. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to either come off mute and ask me, or you can just type them into the chat. I'll see them and I will address them. Or I'll ask Marianne if there's questions and then she'll tell me. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, this is the homepage of G2X. And we've got a couple of things I wanted to point out here. So first of all, you've got across the top, you've got your personal profile, and you're going to want to make sure that you fill this out, because this is how other people will find you and learn what your LinkedIn profile is or what your role is. So make sure that your title here is good and make sure that your information is also accurate. So this is probably the best way that you can get your information out there in this network that is G2Xchange. And by the way, we've been in business for over 10 years, almost 11 in August. So there's a lot of folks in our network, and you want to be one of them to be able to be seen and be visible. Here's a little cool thing. You can go dark mode, light mode, wax on, wax off. Pretty cool. There's this little gear item here, and if you are an account manager who can add some folks, remove folks, or change your levels of your subscription, you can do that all here. The bell icon is where you can find your saved searches. And you can see I have a couple of saved searches, one or two set up here. And you can VA all the things. So what you can do here is you can edit them, you can run them, or you can delete them. You do want to make sure that all of your systems are working for you. So rather than coming in here and running saved searches, this is one of those optimized workflows I was talking about. You want to make sure your saved searches are running for you. So save your saved searches, make sure that they're working, and don't be afraid to put a whole bunch of them out there. And I'll tell you why. I do know that there are some tools out there that will send you a zillion emails and you'll get spammed and get annoyed and be like, oh my God, turn all of these off, please. Thank you. But G2X will actually roll them all up into one email, and it will just be like ServiceNow, here are your items, Accenture, here are your items, Agile, here are your items. So that way it's unobtrusive in your email inbox, and it is really optimized for what you got going on. So there's that. And then this little icon up here at the top is where I like to put things that I want to find again in a hurry. So, so for example, Ramada 3 was a big deal before Doge kind of like crushed CMS. So everybody was so hyped about it. And then it's like, okay, just kidding, LOL. But it's good to have it there, just in case it comes back, because it probably will. So put the things that you want to find again very quickly up here in this bookmark, and then you can use that as your personal space. So I do like to weave in a little bit of a wiki leak here and there about what's coming down the road for us from a roadmap perspective. One of the things that we are going to be doing is building out a notification center. And everything that you bookmark, all your saved searches, everything that you follow and you want to be alerted to, all of those things are going to be in your notification center. And so I like to think about this little bookmark here as your pre-notification center. It's one of the things that we're building out. Okay, so When I pop in here to the back to the homepage, I just wanted to show you guys this browse all button for the curated intelligence. This is something that's going to be really going through all the information that the Daily Take has curated and put on here in the three different verticals. Speaking of WikiLeaks, we will be having a gigantic change to the way that we do business as a whole coming next week. We haven't announced it yet. It's all been internal. And we are waiting with bated breath to tell you what that is. But it might be that instead of by vertical, if you have access to G2 Exchange, you have access to everything. So that'll be something we announce later. So let's come back here. Up here at the top, you're going to see you're starting to search. I want to show you how to set up a search with a keyword and slice it by a vertical and slice it by opportunities or industry moves. So I think now that people are being a little bit strategic, people are doing less of like, oh, DHS, show me agile opportunities, and just something super basic. But really, what if you want to be more strategic than that? You want to get in there and talk to the new people that are making new decisions about how business is actually being done. So let me kind of give you an example of that. So if I come up here to the top, and it's funny because I haven't done this search yet. So let's see how it goes. All right, we're just going to type in the word cyber. And what you're going to notice right off the bat is this is going to pop up our global search, which takes that keyword and slices it against all of our information. So you're going to see all of our curated information at the top. You're going to see all of your companies down here at the bottom with the keyword cyber. And then you're going to see all of our active opportunities with the keyword cyber, which is kind of dope, especially this first one, C-Scrim Cyber Sources Thought. Would be definitely interested in that. But before I get sidetracked down a rabbit hole, I do want to show you that I wanted to set up a saved search with slices. So that's what we were trying to do. Let's not get distracted. So keyword cyber, we're going to hit see all these results. So it holds your keyword cyber up here at the top. And then you come over here into categories and you can then, so you don't have 485 pages to go through, you can slice the data by one of these different ways. So instead of saying, oh, just give me opportunities with cyber, no, dude, I want to know what new people are coming out and doing what roles in cybersecurity. And then I'm going to hit close on that. And then I'm going to hit this little save search button. So anytime anybody gets a new role in the government or industry with the keyword cyber, I get an email because I'm trying to be strategic here. Does that make sense? I think it does from like a doing things differently. And why do industry moves matter? Because really, especially on the government side, the first 2 weeks of anybody's new role is the only time you're going to get in to see them without trying to do some serious calendar gymnastics. These govies are booked back to back to back to back. So really, while you're here, you're just going to type in cyber IMs, which are industry moves, right? And then you're going to come down here and hit create save search, and that will create it for you. And then you're going to see it up here at the top, which then, of course, as we had discussed, is that bell over here. Okay, so that was just one workflow that is really great from like backing into a keyword and a slice and save, right? Okay, let's keep it moving. As we have discussed many times before, G2X has the most robust events database in the industry. And we're talking not just, industry events that you probably have know of and hear of, but also ones that are government specific. And by the way, can I just say that supply chain and logistics is like the new black? It is like the new hottest thing out there. So whenever they say, 30 is the new 20, supply chain is the new agile. Listen, I'm telling you, that is like supply chain and logistics is the next area that everybody wants to go into. So definitely be looking at that. So coming on down, this is what you would expect from our events page. You can register, you can add this to your calendar. It is in Richmond. So just know that going into it, we'll always tell you where it's going to be and what it's going to be about. So you can add it to your calendar and all that. Also, our analyst reports are fantastic. Hopefully, Brittany Winkler is on here. She does a fantastic job of ideating, pulling the information, and putting it out there. And you can kind of see some of the reports that she's been publishing recently right on the top page here. So I'm just going to pop into this report, which I was like, where was this when I was tracking recompeting GWAC task orders? So really NITAC, she did a great job of breaking down the GWAC top level NITAC and then going into the task orders on each one of the incumbents and telling you whether it's small business, large business. And then as you go down, she tells you like the different task order watch list from 25 to 27. So you can then start teaming by task order. It's incredible. But if you use this in the right way, you will be unstoppable. In fact, G2 Exchange will be your unfair advantage, which it should be. So I hope that you consider it that way. And I would definitely take a second look at the analyst reports. And they're over here on the left under analyst reports. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, it's easier for me to look at if it's white. Avante, could you mind opening the door for yeah, okay. All right. So sorry about that slight interlude. I'm gonna pause here and see if anybody has any questions. Marianne, do we have any questions in chat?
Nope, I don't see any.
All right, fantastic. I'm gonna keep going then, friends. Here we go. Okay. The Doge cancel contracts tracker. I keep track of the time. Okay, we're good. So this is something that we heard through the grapevine that folks were charging for, and we felt like that was a little bit of grift. So we wanted to put it out there for folks, letting them know which contracts were being targeted, what was being canceled. So that way, really, industry could learn and pivot quick to be able to provide mission support services to the government in ways that make sense for what was the new administration, basically. You can actually export this as a CSV. You can actually set up alerts to notify you as well based on your different search criteria. So make sure that you kind of come in here. And one of the cool things that I would like to tell folks is that you can actually grab and drop your what do you call this, your table columns can drag and drop across any of our tables inside of G2X. And that's something that is important to know because sometimes I get annoyed and I'm like, why is this all the way over there? Well, grab it, move it, right? So this is you're the pilot of this boat here. So that's really helpful to know. Okay, I'm gonna keep on moving here. So the proposals section here is really what we love to call our Gov AIQ tool. And it really is a tool that will ingest your statements of work, and then you can actually assign bots to it and it will write you a rough draft. I'm going to tell you right now, this tool is being rebuilt. So it can ingest your past performance and then also do a whole lot of like resume formatting and things that will save you time. Right now, it is a little bit basic in the fact that we'll ingest and write a draft, but it's not going to read anything else unless you specifically tell it to, which you can do that as well. Our pipeline tool is really great. I'm actually kind of a little bit low key obsessed with it. So I'll tell you why, because I have done probably, I don't know, in the thousands of step reviews in my career. And I'm going to go into Department of State Evolve just because literally I did so many step reviews for this proposal that it made me want to stab myself in the eye with a fork. Um, and if I just kind of take a top level view of this, it looks really amazing, right? Like you can delete it. You can see it's got this must win button up here because you and I both know that if it's a recompete, you probably be marking it with a must win. You've got all these different things up here at the top, including your roles of prime. You've got your tasks. You can set up tasks, and the notification center will include notifications around tasks that are upcoming with different things that you need to do. Your P1 and work share is all built out. Your capture notes are in here. Now imagine instead of doing your step review presenting from a PowerPoint, which I think most of industry still does. I mean, trying to break industry of that habit is just wow, super wild. So instead of presenting from PowerPoint, present from here, right? So let's just take a thought process around Evolve. It is a major IDIQ BPA for the Department of State. So this G2X Capture Insights, imagine that you had different task orders that were going to be coming up for recompete. So, and then related industry moves. Maybe there's a new decision maker. You can attach all that information and you can actually then present your step review from here with all your capture notes and everything in one place rather than doing it in PowerPoint, which is super painful. So those are our pipelines. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to skip over Teaming Hub for now, but the next time we meet, I'm going to be presenting Teaming Hub and it's going to be super dope. So be looking forward to that. All right, going to go into opportunities now. And I'm just going to type in the word artificial. Do you know where I'm going with this? I'm sure you do. So if I type in the word artificial, it will take me into all of our stuff for artificial intelligence. The new, I want to have like a drinking game around artificial intelligence. Take a shot every time somebody says that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and open the very first one here, but just want to let you know, whenever you see that caret, you can pop it up, you can pop it open, and you don't have to go into the full thing. You can actually just pop it open, add the pipeline right here, create a new, and this will actually, I'll just show you that you can sit that and say create pipeline. You can create a pipeline, you can add it to a pipeline, you can do all that, whole entire workflow through here. But I do want to show you what it looks like. And one of the whole points of G2X and the reason why we're building it is really to make your life easier so that way you don't have to log into several tools at one time. You log into one tool one time. So what we're trying to do is really make more points where the data is all connecting together because that's really when the data gets more enriched and becomes more valuable. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So right now you're looking at something for NASA that's looking to do a AI training course for 31 people, which is oddly specific if you ask me. 31 people, not, not 30, not 35, 31 people. Okay. All right, NASA, you know what you want. I like that. Respect. You've got your statement of work that you can download directly from here. And if you go on down, you can see everywhere else that in the government that is buying artificial intelligence. So I don't know about you, but if I was looking to sell artificial intelligence training and I came in here and was like, holy mother of wow, this is exciting because almost every agency is buying this. And so this is a powerful way of showing you that when the data connects, it gives you more. It gives you that 360 view into not just what NASA wants, but also scroll on down the VA, OPM, Air Force, the VA, yeah, just all kinds of things going on down here that you could then pop into. And then, of course, you've got your add to pipeline button up here at the top. I'm going to hit pause. Marianne, do we have any questions?
Nope.
I saw a question pop in. No?
Oh, yep. Are the opportunities only from Sam?
I love this question. So the system is really broken into two pieces. Curated intelligence, which we kind of talked about up here, and this includes opportunities from forecasts. It includes opportunities from challenges, CSOs, and OTAs. This database that I'm in right now is the opportunities database. It is a sam.gov feed. So if you're talking about from here, yes. If you do a search up here and search everything, your global search, it'll be pulling everything. And that includes both things, if that makes sense. And then also did want to say that we are going to be building in a pipeline opportunity where you could then port in your GSA eBuy using your login and run that against your saved searches. So that way you could be then getting all of your task orders, not just for GSA eBuy, but other task orders, other, GWAC Max IDIQs as well. Although in the future, I don't know that anything else matters except GSA, right? I don't make up the rules. Okay, let's pop over here. So as somebody had asked the question, and I really appreciate that question, did we have another question come in, Marianne?
It's just a thank you, just answered a question. Do you need to have a GSA e-buy for that to work?
Ah, yes. And the reason why I'm laughing is because we used to publish all of the eBuy opportunities that were filtered against our 26 NAICS codes. And what happened was GSA put a kibosh on that and said they're going to start suing companies that publicly release GSA task orders. And companies do it. Don't get me wrong. I've heard that HireGov does it. And, I hear every day there's a new tool out there doing that. GSA is going to start suing companies. And when we caught wind of that, we were like, all right, so we're not going to do that anymore. So then we backed into this like, okay, well, we'll use your login and do it that way. But I think one of the ways we're going to address that challenge is really like we're going to create a more of like a community hub where primes could then submit task orders out there to different potential subs and kind of federate the data that way, if that makes sense. That's a good question, though. All right. As I had mentioned, opportunities is a sam.gov feed, and then the awards and contracts database are feeds from FPDS. Beth, do you mind opening the door? Right here, thanks. So I'm going to pop in here. And so if you understand what I had just said, FPDS, right? So you've got all your awarded contracts in here. And if you just kind of scroll through here, I'm not going to spend too much time in here. I just want to let you know that again, you can drag and drop any of these things that you want. And I always do. I always move the requirement closer. I move the potential value closer. You can filter by agencies right here in the top part. You can actually add a whole lot of different filters here. You can run a whole bunch of different data analytics. Coming soon, the ability to export tables. So that is on its way. We do appreciate the feedback that a lot of systems do that. Yeah, we know. Okay, moving on. All right, this is a time of great pivots. Oh, I think we might have another question. Okay, Marianne, question?
Yes, indeed. How has the government been using G2X for market research?
This is a great question. I'm going to jump ahead, but I promise I'll come back. So if I come in here to the people and just type in .gov, it's going to give you an example of who uses G2X from a government side. And there's a lot of our users are government themselves. And the way that they use G2X is they will actually come into the company profiles and you're going to see up here explore companies. And if you come in here, you can see that this would be perfect for market research, right? So you're like, okay, I have something that I want to put out, service disabled veteran owned in the NAICS code 541512, but I don't know how many companies really are out there in those two NAICS codes. Or let's actually take this out and just say, I want to know how many are in the zip code, place of performance, or in the state of Florida, or whatever it is. So you can do your slicing and dicing market research in here pretty easily. Um, and I'm going to show you what that would look like. So I'm going to open up this company here, Visual Connections, since we're talking about service disabled, and I know this profile is pretty well built out. And the reason why this is so great for the government users is they can come in here and download the capability statement directly. You can see all their socioeconomic statuses, but actually this is the piece I think is super valuable, is you can see year over year their lifetime contract value. And then if you scroll your mouse over here, you can actually see all of their rolling averages. So if you are a small business specialist that's trying to make that determination if you're gonna recommend the contracting officer put it out full and open, or a small business set aside, kind of gauging industry of like the rule of two, or however many are out there that can and would potentially bid on this. You can do that kind of thing very easily here, and you can see if they really are a small business. And then as you scroll down, you could see all their subcontracts, you can see all their contract awards. You could get burn rate information per task order. So if you want to back into a price to win, you could do that information here. And I think I saw another question pop up, Marianne.
Yes, indeed. So you mentioned forecasted opportunities. Are you
Mhm.
referring to the procurement forecast in the OS DBUs? Are they all linked there?
Uh, yes. So let me show you. Come up here. Remember, I told you this really handy thing up here. So it's curated, which means there's humans behind it. And you can see right here what it is that we're tracking as far as a forecast. A lot of it is from the DHS forecast because it's the best one there is, honestly. We do track some of the other forecasts as well. So you can see anything that we find as a forecast of different things that are happening, use this little search tool at the top here, and that will get you where you want to be. Um, okay, well, let's see what time it is. We've got 5 minutes. So I promised I'd come back to NAICS codes, and I'm going to do this for like 2 seconds because I do want to open it up for more questions. If I pop into NAICS codes, I just want to say this is the year of pivots, and I'm going to show you guys why. 541611 was pretty much industry's favorite NAICS code for picking if you're going to start a new GovCon. Why? Because it's really broad. It's like, administrative management consulting services. What does that even mean? But then as you take a look and see the numbers falling from 24 to 25, these companies are like, wow. But imagine you want to go into a new NAICS code. Who's buying? How are they buying? What is this like? What contract vehicles are out there, and what opportunities are actually live right now on these different things? And remember, you can drag and drop, so don't forget that. These are all your live ones, and then what else have we like captured and written about, right? And far as G2X is concerned. So really understanding the NAICS codes and then doing a PSC code crosswalk is really helpful if you're doing like market sizing, if you're trying to decide where you're pivoting to and what you're trying to do. It's a really, really valuable way of doing it. Okay, so I think there might be another question, Marianne. Yes.
Yes. Do you have a way to connect RFI and RFPs under opportunities to their incumbent opportunities for easy research?
Wow, somebody uses Govwin. Um, so I I want to encourage you to look at it in a different way, right? So every everything that comes out now, understanding the incumbent, how much they spent the last time around and who bid on it, all that information, I feel like this is an Alexa thing, is a less valuable piece of information these days because that will actually send you down a path that's not going to be as innovative, as interesting, and is going to kind of have you trying to compete with the incumbent when really this administration wants you to compete outside of that cycle. That's a long way for me to say that we did not tie together the opportunities database and the awards database in the same thing. The reason why GovWin can do it is because they've been in business for 45 years. And whenever anything was awarded back in the day, they automatically created a forecast RFP and connected the two. And they have been doing that for 45 years. So they have all that data. Outside of that, to connect the dots on that is something that we'll be working towards, but we don't have yet. However, I would encourage you to take a look at these new opportunities from a different light, from a new perspective, and think outside the box.
Okay, I have another question.
Okay.
Is there pipeline level security or can everyone within your company account access each pipeline?
Everybody inside of your company can see the pipelines that you're creating. They cannot get into your pipelines. They can see the pipelines that you've created, but they can't make any changes to it and they can't get into it. Um, However, if you want us to lock it down, like this is something we're looking for feedback on, honestly, because different companies have different ways of doing it. And we kind of left it open to show the different pipelines. As you guys saw, like I'll show you. If I open up the pipelines database here, and if I come all the way down, I can see these are all the different pipelines that are here for different people in my company. So I can see what they are, and but I can't really get into them. So if you guys feel like this needs to be locked down where only you can see what you have in your pipeline, then I feel like that's a really piece of in like really valuable piece of feedback we should know. And I think we'd be open to it. That's one thing about G2X. We're extremely open to feedback from our users and we would love to be helpful. So if you come under your little account up here under help and hit that help button here, you can see all of our knowledge library on how to do everything. We have the G2X way here, which is a lot about our customer success team. And then we have this contact us thing here that goes into a help desk that hits a Slack channel that hits that alerts the entire company. So if you have any problems or challenges or issue or feedback on how we can improve the system, we are always here to listen and we would love to hear it.
And I see no more questions. Oh, actually one more. I think locking it down would be helpful, especially if you have consultants with a company account.
Yeah, I mean, it is a use case, I think, is pretty interesting use case. I will definitely take it into advisement and take it back to the dev team because I think it's worth playing with the idea of having it be like login specific, right? And I think it would also discourage folks from sharing logins, which then would also help us on the other side. All right, everybody. Well, really appreciate you being here with me today. Catch us in a couple of weeks for the next version of this. Have a wonderful week in the meantime, and we'll talk to you soon.